Hey everybody, I have a message here for someone that I feel like made a decision and the grass wasn't greener on the other side. So when I connected, I was in a desert and it was really sunny, it was like shining in my eyes, but it was freezing cold and I was very confused of why I'm cold. I should be warm, and uh, the wind was blowing a lot, like unseen forces, if we will. And then I heard I should be happy, but I'm not. I want more or something else. And halfway through of pulling some cards, I kind of got the inclination of like giving off like the chase, and then the journey versus the reward. So, like let's just use going to school for a really long time to pursue this job that we want. And then we got the job and we're like, oh, this isn't what I thought it was going to be like at all, or this isn't fulfilling. Or let's look at somebody in a relationship and they were having an affair, and then they left their partner for the person they were having the affair with, and found out, wow, this person sucks. I should be happy and I'm not. Like if we look at, the journey is more of the experience than the reward. So going through all that energy we're putting into our schoolwork, and we got this idea of what it's going to be like, and it's going to be such a great reward, and we get there and it's not anything, it's not fulfilling. When we look at a person, you know having an affair, that relationship, the real relationships build on like all the internal stuff and fulfilling that person, and they're running off to have physical relations, and that's the excitement of getting caught. And I don't know what goes through their heads. I've never done it, but you know, uh, the physical release and experience. And then when they left and you know pursued that person on a full time level, that person doesn't fulfill any of the things that they had in the other relationship. Our first card was Seven of Cups, dreams and desires. Illusion, fantasy, and temptation. This could, just like looking at work, like get rich quick schemes. Like, oh, look at this person, they have everything. If I do that, I'll get there too. And then you find out it's a lot more work, or you have to go against your ethics to, you know, get to that point. You have to be a shitty person to lie and cheat people out of money, to trick them, to clickbait them, to get them, to fill your pockets. Or uh, I don't know what it's like, if you went to college, like, it's what everybody tells you to do. And you go there and you spend all that money for a degree, and you're making shit money, and the job is like pointless, and everything you learned in school doesn't even relate to what you're doing. So why did I need this diploma? Like, I see that as a very plausible cause, and that would suck. I'm not in that position, but I couldn't imagine. Or just, I've left the job thinking grass will be greener on another side, and it wasn't. Or it's the same shit, different day, different location, different name type deal. In a relationship aspect, uh, maybe it wasn't as drastic as an affair or cheating, but like the chase. It's like maybe you had this image that this person's so beautiful or handsome, and uh, chasing them, trying to woo them, court them, however you want to look at it. And then you win. You finally, like, they accept you, or you start dating, and then you learn more about the person. You were so focused on getting the reward, locking them down, however you want to look at it, that, they're yours, however you want to look at it. And you find out, man, they're a slob. They're a shitty person. They don't fulfill me at all. I was chasing this external image, you know, and they have nothing inside that is a benefit, as in, like, they don't care, they don't nurture, they don't fulfill anything that I was seeking beyond this, what do they call it? Someone on my arm. Our next card, Wheel of Fortune, cycles of change, inevitable change, ups and downs in life. Granted, no one likes to be in a bad decision, in the repercussions of a bad decision. But there is always an opportunity to learn, and when we learn, we won't make that mistake again. Uh, it is inevitable. Change is inevitable. If we don't choose to change, change will knock on our door and force us into this more uncomfortably than if we would have done it when we got the little notions in our head to do so. But, it is inevitable that there will be ups and downs. It is life. We can't always be up. We have to go through it. And it's our choice how to handle that. Next card. Five of Swords reversed. Reconciliation. I could look at this as, you know, just use like an argument, for example, and someone always has to have the last word or win at all costs. And sometimes that win, whatever they had to do to win, did more damage than good. So that feeling of people that need to win, I don't fully know how that works, but like I'm sure it would give you some sort of energy boost that makes you feel superior or something like that. And yeah, you could have that and be like, oh wow, I should be happy I won, but you look back and there's this huge fucking disaster behind you, and the town's burning. It really gives off a hey, should have I done that? Was it worth it? And sometimes when we're in these positions working out of our emotions, we don't see the bigger picture. We see this goal in our mind, and we can be very destructive in that matter. This is a total side note, but just like talking about destructive, wanted to make just a video on this in general, but there's a time when things are not going our way and they might just keep getting worse and worse out of our way. And it's, human nature to try to control things or fix things, put the fire out. And when they get, constant tower moment after tower moment, we act out irrationally sometimes in a way that isn't always like physical, but it's like decision making, because it's like our way of trying to control something, to feel like we have a say in something, or to, I mean, it would have this response to us that, okay, I made this choice. Like I had some control in this disaster that's happening around me. And this could just even be like drinking, uh, doing drugs, like an addiction aspect of, I'm going to control how I feel right now. It could also be physical. We could seek some sort of interaction with someone to try to feel some sort of way. Of course, we could make decisions, burst out with our emotions that are pent up on someone that, didn't deserve it. And what we're actually, shedding out isn't even real. It's just us trying to release something that makes us feel like we have control over our words or our thoughts, a lot of different things. You see this a lot, like on negative comments and people arguing online. That's on a smaller level, but it's the same type of deal. Some sort of way that we can feel that we're in control of something due to a negative experience that we're having. That was off topic, but I wanted to share it regardless. Next card, Knight of Cups. Inspired pursuits. Could look at this as charming options or, offers, and then following our heart. Maybe this decision was based on a charming offer, and we took it, and we thought it would fulfill us, and it didn't. I, as it said, as I wrote down, I should be happy, but I'm not. Maybe this is what everybody else wanted, and I just followed suit because that's what we thought we were supposed to do. And here it is, and it's not fulfilling me at all. And, excuse me, really comes down to following your heart. And sometimes we don't know what that is or what is in our heart until we, do some work on ourselves and go inside and find out what truly we do want. Sometimes we don't know, and that'll take a little time, which could just be trial and error. There's nothing wrong with that. It's how we learn. And I'm not saying learn like punishment, it's an experience. And I really look at, all knowledge as very important to put into every aspect of your life. Whether you're looking at spirituality or just looking at our 3D experience here, if you learn a little bit of this, this can help you navigate another situation in your life. Nothing is lost ever. You can always have that in your tool bag and use that for anything. Our next, I already did this one. Last card. It is Ten of Swords reversed. Recovery, which I see us in this position now. Whatever did take place, whether work, relationship, family, whatever decision was made, that we are should be happy, but we're unhappy. It's time to deal with the aftermath. I'm not saying that in a negative way. You know, that does sound drastic, but every decision, cause and effect, and it's time to clean up our mess. Whether it was us or someone else, it's more or less us. Uh, I would imagine, just the way that it looked like that we made this decision and we're unhappy with it. So, we can move forward depending on what it is. It does take a little bit of time, more painful situation we're going to have to recover for longer than a smaller thing. But if we're looking at the wheel of fortune, up and down, inevitable changes, might be down here and we can change to go back up. May not look that easy right now, but with a little bit of time, and if we are in a place that we don't know what we truly want, then take it slow. Get something, if it's work related, get through whatever you're doing, or if you don't have a job, get a smaller job that just gets you by for now, and think about it. Relationship, it's obviously going to feel a lot different. It's like, man, did I make a mistake? But it's all a learning process. Everything's an opportunity to grow and move forward. So I'll leave it at that. Have a great day, everyone.